Oh, it says we're live. Are we live? Maybe not on Instagram
Ooh.
yet. Let me hit the button. So many buttons to push.
Buttons,
Oh,
buttons.
it's coming. Hi, everyone. If anyone's on yet, I know it takes a minute. We've had some technical difficulties here. So, welcome to Tuesdays with Tori and Kathy Pepper today. And I know most of you aren't counting because if you're used to watching me from Arizona, I go on at 5 pretty much where I am. Today, I'm in Vegas, which is
And
why,
so
again,
am
I'm so
I.
blessed. Yeah, I was like, I'm so blessed and lucky because I was like, hey, friend of mine, Miss Kathy, who, if anybody is like a fan or like hangs out in my archive, is was on one of my other shows in the background with her husband, my good friend, Mr. Dr. Pepper. Love him, but hey, anyways, I'll do this thing because we're a little bit late, but it's Vegas time, and we just do what we do. So if you're new here, hello. This is Tuesdays with Tori. This is a, laid back. It's casual, right? I'm going to drink my wine. Hey, I'm not sure who this is with the mwahaha because you got to let StreamYard know who you are because I'm assuming you're watching on P3, which means it's private. So you have to say, good evening, Facebook user. Same thing. You got to let, and I'll put the link here, right? I got this fun banner, maybe. Oh, there we go. Got to go to streamyard.com/Facebook so that I know who you are. Otherwise, I'm going to guess, and that'll get just
So,
kind of
so
crazy.
question: do they need to sign up for StreamYard to be able
No, you
to?
just got to go. No, just go to that website, and it says, "Hey, can StreamYard, right? Can Tori's stream use your avatar? That's it. You don't have to put your name in
Okay,
front
so
of it.
will you put
Nothing."
that back up again because I want to
Yeah,
send that to Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper. Everybody, maybe, yeah. Thank you for pointing that out, Kathy. If people don't know, now you know. StreamYard, you don't need to sign up. You don't need to pay for anything. It's just to allow me, because a lot of people are watching on the P3 page, right? Because it's our community there. And because P3 is a private, right? Like you need to be invited. You also have to let me, my StreamYard, say yes. I can use your avatar and your name. Otherwise, I'm going to guess and it'll be fun. Or you'll be like this person. I'll give you a hint. Furniture and puns. Oh, it's Kenneth. I love you, Kenneth. Oh my goodness, he's so funny. I owe you like 10 text messages back. He's a good kid. If anyone needs some kink furniture or just some good laughs, all about the Kenneth. You should be out here in Vegas doing your crazy stuff.
Doing that
Yeah,
champs thing.
we'll work on that. So again, welcome. Kenneth knows what's up, but it's Tuesday. So at like 5-ish, I decided that I was going to make this little casual. Well, it's not really a podcast because I guess that's with Apple, and Apple charges you for that, in case people didn't know. So it's more like a web stream where I get on Tuesdays because I felt like I was somebody that, maybe was a little bit more informed in the world of latex and lubricant. And then now I started working in the realm, and it's been a little over a year now of mostly just condoms, and like none of it is common sense, guys. So just decided because we have this great platform here to keep bringing my friends in and giving you guys the tools you need, whether it's condoms, whether it's lube, whether it's upselling, it's merchandising, it's starting a business, it's any of the hurdles that we all struggle with as a team. And because P3 is kind of our community where we do all the stuff, I just stream for you all here. So welcome. Today
Hey,
is
hey,
Stream
and
into
Dr.
the
Pepper.
Ether.
Dr. Pepper just said he was the one that says good evening.
Oh, that was him. Yay. I'm actually thinking about next year hugs. Oh, that would be great, Kenneth. Okay, so I'll leave this up a little bit, guys. StreamYard. So I can see who you are. Okay, so that was my fun little intro. Thanks for hanging, guys. But today, right, I have my esteemed colleague and guest. She's fancier than me. She doesn't drink wine out of a cup.
Oh,
Plastic that
wait,
is.
no. Bullshit. I got the same cup as you.
Cheek,
It's my
cheek,
hotel
cheek, cheek.
cup.
We may or may not mention how Kathy saw me open this bottle of wine with no wine opener.
Oh, no. You found that on Google all on your own.
I'm just saying we maybe I guess we'll talk about it, but we'll just lightly mention that if you need to open a bottle of wine with your friend online when you're trying to figure out your StreamYard, you can get your high heel and just smush the cork in. Who
And
knew?
she did.
I did. I was like, let's see how this goes. I could have just like been smarter. Alas, that's shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Or
Right?
had you come to my room, I have a corkscrew, and we
Oh
wouldn't have had
goodness. You
all of
guys
that.
know how it goes in Vegas, though. It's like the minute you try to go anywhere or do anything, it's like 30 minutes of like wait in a cab line and do this. Like I love it for vacation, but like when you're trying to work and get your StreamYard situation done. Poor Kathi is not staying at the Tuscany though, so I'm gonna blame Blush on this.
So I'm it's a good half mile to almost a mile walk from my room to the convention center. And then you got to figure out, I mean, like a Las Vegas block is not the same as a Phoenix, Arizona block. You know, it's like
kind of nice right now, but also, yeah, I wouldn't walk around at night or anything.
no, I got in just before dark. And so I'm really happy about not having to walk by myself in the dark in Vegas. But
supposedly there's a shuttle from Tuscany. I'll have to find this out. Anyways, welcome to my esteemed colleague, Miss Kathi Pepper, a true powerhouse. That's right, because I'll let her brag about all the amazing things that I've even just learned from her in my I'll be on 10 years this year in the industry, and I want to say just like in the last like I don't know 3 or 4 years that we've really been able to like hone in our relationship. I've already learned so much from her there, right? So again, that's kind of focus on the show. We're just like here to give you some nuggets, and I'll introduce you to my friends, and if you need resources and information, we're here to help you with that. So joining us now is Miss Kathi. She brings all this like great insight, expertise, and she's just a powerhouse. So, Kathi, I'll let you do your fun introduction here. Without further ado.
Oh wow. And that was sweet of you. Like you really kind of like hyped me up more than.
Well, no, but again, there's like no, I know we've talked about this, but there's no industry if people like you hadn't gone through and dealt with some of these like big hurdles that you have done, right? There'd be no industry. Again, not just because, I maybe sell condoms and I work in the industry, but like, again, there's been a lot of stuff that I'm sure many people of our industry know that's like, hey, you did pay, you made the groundwork for us. So let's pick your brain.
So Dr. Pepper and I have been in the industry for 28 years.
Yeah, pretty significant.
So we've been doing this for a long time. We got started in the home party program. We did not intend on having a store out of our house, but it happened. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later, about how and why that's significant to this conversation. Mm-hmm. And then we decided 12 years ago, we decided to open a real deal brick and mortar store that was not in our house. We did that for 12 years. Last year, the end of the year in October,
I was like, it's just fresh. It's just a few months. Like
it's very fresh.
One to the next, yeah.
It's very fresh, and we're I mean, I'll be honest and blunt. I mean, we're still feeling the pains from that. But it's a little bit like starting over. But in October, we actually lost our lease. And not because of what a lot of people would think about, like, oh, well, you're in the adult industry, they kicked you out because of what you do. It actually wasn't that. It was they sold the building to a healthcare industry who kicked everybody. They're making a clinic, so everybody had to go. And we were given 30 days to get out. And I think, for anybody who's listening who has an adult store or any kind of store, if you're leasing from someone, check your lease, because what they did was legal. Was it ethical or moral? No.
That's a different stream.
Right. And so we decided to come back to our original store, and we're going back to our roots now. So, and again, we'll talk about that later, but we're going back to roots, but we're in right now we're in rebuilding stage. And I hate they only gave me 30 days too. I had a
person. Like if someone told me to leave, you know, my house in 30 days, that's like a lot. Now you're like, I got to pack up a business. I got to find places for my people. Like it's a lot. I mean, it's business, but I'm sure, again, there's other people. Hopefully this inspires others that maybe have whatever sort of store, but like it does happen, and you can be a Kathi and dust it off and start over, right? What is Year of the Dragon?
And we're starting over, and it really feels like starting over phase. Now that being said, I also work for an adult toy manufacturer. I was working, well, and Tori and I'll go back even further to how Tori and I actually met. We both worked for a lubricant company. I got a side hustle with them and then with a toy company, because toy company and lube company are not competition, because they don't make the same products. And so then I was very, very fortunate that toy company, when I got wind of what was going on, and it wasn't an official email or anything like that, or anybody from the company I was leasing from, it was from somebody in a women business owners group that told me about what might be happening. So, and I investigated, and I found out it was true. So I got a little bit.
I wish I didn't find out that way, but at least I found out, right?
But I found out, but I didn't know when it was going to happen or if, and I didn't know what time frame we would be given. So it was good information, but I didn't know what to do with it. So that being said, we kind of started preparing, and I talked to my toy manufacturer company, and I said, hey, I might need a full-time job instead of this side hustle gig. As it turns out, they brought me on full-time 1 week after our store closed.
Sometimes it's all about the timing, right? Right place, right time. But you might not see things like that when you're like in the weeds, right? The forest for the trees, right? You're like, what's going on?
I knew that it was a huge blessing, and and secretly, I'd wanted to work on this side of the industry ever since I went to my first trade show over 12 years ago, because I was like, what these guys do, I can do that. This is what I do with home parties, except I'm talking to a much, when I train a store, I'm talking to a much more educated audience. They know the difference between a silicone lube and a water-based, or TPE and silicone. They know those differences. And they're also not giggly. And then, but I don't have to deal with drunk people, and I don't usually have to drive home at 1 o'clock in the morning either. Although you and I did drive home at about 1 o'clock from Baton Rouge one time.
Well, we could talk about road warrior do's and don'ts as we've learned them. That's another one. But also, we did close that business, so there you go.
and so that's kind of my story. That's kind of where I've been, starting, from when we first got started to where we are now. And is the story ended? No, it's just, we're writing new chapters right now.
I love that for you guys. Didn't you just recently have another home party at the new store? Or I guess the what do we want to call this? Rebranded, reemerged, reimagined store. There we go. That's a good word.
So here, what had happened was.
What had happened was, all right, I'm ready. Let's go.
So my plan was not to go back into doing home parties. My plan was to train other people to do home parties, because I have a full-time gig now, right?
Yeah. So, and a husband and a dog and a house, and you got to go get lobsters in Florida. All the things.
I hadn't had many lobsters lately. It's more like a tilapia kind of dish right now, but anyway.
Oh, all the points for Dr. Pepper. Look,
hi, honey.
Cute little name. Yes, reimagined. Thanks, Dr. Pepper. I was looking for the word, and you brought it out of me.
So, So where were we going with that?
Oh yeah, we were talking about the reimagined store and how you didn't think that was gonna be the next part of your chapter,
So
right?
I didn't. I was gonna. I was really gonna train other people to do home parties, and I had somebody lined up that I was gonna train. I had gotten between. I won't say I. Dr. Pepper and one of my employees had kind of put out some feelers and gotten some people to say, "Hey, I would like to try the training stuff and everything." So I was gonna go train somebody. We had the parties lined up, and she didn't show. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to do a home party. And I fell in love again. Hey, Jade.
I was gonna say someone else gets all the points. I feel like if you sign up for if you could do your stream yards, Gotham's coming your way. But nice to meet you, Jade.
So Jade is going to be doing home parties for us as well.
Oh, a little train the trainer right now. I love it. Well, welcome, Jade. Welcome. Thanks for hanging out.
So I went and did this party. It was the cutest Galentine's event. They all wore their heart-shaped pajamas. Even the dog had heart-shaped pajamas. They had balloons. They had decorated so well. Excuse me. There were a total of 6 people there, and I made so much money that night.
Wow. And you probably felt good too. I know I miss being able to it's not always effective, but I miss, slow days at the store or at least back in my apparel days and you just walk someone around the entire store. It's like your new best friend. I don't know. You get the dopamine hit from other people shopping, right? So you probably, I don't know. I would probably feel like full from oh, I helped all these people, right?
I did. And I got all the accolades. They're giving you all the feels this was so much fun. And they're just telling you how great of a time they had. They spent a ton of money. And I was like,
this is interesting. You might be I know nostalgia marketing is very popular right now, especially for, the elder millennials, as I like to call myself. So maybe bringing back home parties right now.
I am very much thinking I very much am thinking about, I would like to lead the way in bringing home parties back. I have a few other things in the works that I can't really talk about. But we're talking about working with some other folks and helping them out as well. I don't want to give too much away, but
okay. Well, maybe when you're ready to announce, you can announce here if you'd like.
But I do believe, and the chatter in our industry is that home parties are making a comeback. I want to help facilitate that because one of the things that a lot of people who are interested in doing the home parties rep. I love that hashtag.
I'm trying to figure out my cute. Hey, I got my tools here, guys. I'm learning.
I love it. But there's a disconnect between the person who's been to a home party, wants to start doing home parties either on the side or for a living. And there's a lot of
one of those what was multi-level marketing thingies. No, it's I feel like that is what has what used to at least give home parties a bad rap. It's we're done with that. This is just because you love it, right?
Well, it is a business, and that's first and foremost, it is a business, and people have to understand that. So, I mean, the first thing that you have to do is go get a tax ID. So, I mean, there's little things like that. And before
get an LLC, call us if you need help. It's real easy to do, guys.
Right. And so, so that's where we want to come in, is help those people who just want a very modern, yes, it is a very modern update. And we want to help those people who have, like what we're trying to do is put together a small group of people, because you don't need to saturate. Yeah. A few good people, kind of like the Marines, a few good men, maybe it's a few good women.
Men, right? Or I like, I don't know why this has been in repeat in my brain sometimes, you know, like your head just likes to bring things back up from whatever. What was it in Mulan when the emperor's like, hey, one like grain of rice can tip the scale. And it's like, sometimes I feel like we get so, and at least me, I know it, like, as far as a salesperson, it's always like, okay, you gotta figure out the value here. Right. But then also remember that one grain of rice could be what changes everything. So it's like, how do you find that? Like, how do you find your golden little ticket, like your nugget, your spot, but like also not miss it, right?
Right. And I lost you for a second, so I didn't hear all of what you had to say.
Oh, sorry, it's fine. I was just talking about opportunities and how it's exciting for you. All right, it's fine.
But that's what one of the things. That's what James and I want to try to help people with is that gap. And yeah, we don't feel like MLM's the way to go at all. So it's like somebody is right. So if somebody is interested in doing home parties, we want to help them get started, do their own business. There's really no reason that you have to go through some big MLM company or something like that. There's just not.
No, but like how valuable, like I know I've had the privilege and the pleasure of like working with a couple of like newbies. Like I don't know if Kiana's on, she's always awesome and seems to be on, but like she's new to kind of this side of the industry. And it's like a lot of people are always like, well, hey, you're so approachable and like, you know, thank you for the information. But like I'm needing to figure out like the next piece of the puzzle or the group or whatever's going on. Just having like, you know, I've got my people in my pocket, but yeah, loving it where you just want to be like, no, this is where else you can go to get those resources. It's kind of like, what's that SWPA that the Free Speech Coalition's doing? It's a sexual wellness, was it Professionals Alliance, right? So like that's much more with what the Free Speech Coalition's dealing with, but it's like, you know, the we've talked about this before many times, like just having that like mentorship, which you're trying to do and being like, no, this is what I would recommend. Here's kind of how the relationships play out with this. And these are, you know, the places, the manufacturers and the distributors that will help you. Like, can you imagine like when you're first starting to get into this, like just like, I don't know, when it's been a long time now, but I remember just when I started, I'm like, what's a East Coast News or a Capital News, or why do these people care about a wholesale? And I'm not understanding, you know, why I got to market things like this, right? Because it was just like I was young, I was in my 20s, a small-minded little space, right? And it's just it's been a trip, right?
And we have all the knowledge and the connections to kind of bring all of that together, and help people out in that respect. So,
wait, I don't know who you are, but I hope you're Carrie. I hope you're Carrie, my Aussie.
Awesome.
Sweet. Okay, that's awesome. If anybody, look at this. I plan things in the show and then we just do whatever we want, which is great. So I love where this has gone as far as if anybody is interested in, bringing back home parties and is looking for some of that training and that support. Kathi and Dr. Pepper are more than available. I'm telling you guys, like fantastic people. Like I've stayed at their house. James is on here somewhere. He may be a lobster. I can send you a photo later for breakfast. Like who does that while we were on the road? So he's a genius, guys. Like I can't even unload. Like these two are geniuses. I know they look all like beautiful and like,
I'm not a genius. He's the genius. I'm not one.
Your genius is different than his genius, which like, you know, right? You can't have, love you, James, but you can't have all the PhD, like James people talking to the people without the PhDs, right? You got to translate him and make it more like consumer friendly. But like you still need that. I don't know. I just think you guys are super smart and amazing. And the fact that you guys are, again, so approachable and willing to teach and develop those that are interested, I think is huge.
Well, Dr. Pepper and I both have different skills, and I feel like we complement each other really well. I mean, you know, there's also a reason that we've been together for 30 years too. So,
which congratulations.
Oh, by the way, can I just say,
yes,
on your TV show, happy anniversary to my honey, because tomorrow will be 30 years that we have lived together.
Wow. Oh my God. I was so drunk to that. Congratulations, Mr. and Dr. Pepper. 30 years.
I love you, honey.
I love you too, platonically. But yes, good people, and learn a lot from them. That's crazy. What is it? Ryan and I will be married for 10 official years this July, but I think together for 15. And yes, my daughter is 10 already. She'll be 11 in July. You can do the
well,
math.
we celebrated our 28th wedding anniversary in December, but we moved in together 30 years ago.
Still counts.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, well, congratulations. I'm so excited. I want to, I'll get you a drink later, and James can pretend like he's living vicariously through it.
I know. I hate that we don't get to spend it with each other.
Oh, I know. We're all here on Valentine's Day. Oh, well. Look at how cute he is. Happy anniversary, doll. Oh, we love it. Oh, goodness. Yeah, no, by the way, I mean, it's funny because my boss, Chris, right, he's just been a year and a half in this biz, and it's his wife's birthday this week and Valentine's Day. It's also my daughter's 7th birthday this week, and it's just kind of like, well, he was like, oh, goodness, like, can you make the show? Blah, 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 like, what's going on with all that stuff? And I was like, fortunately or unfortunately, when you work in this industry, like Valentine's Day, like really happens on steak and blowjob day. Let's be honest. Like it's like I need like 4 weeks to recover from making sure all the promotions and the marketing is where it needs to be, plus the show for Valentine's Day. So also, I'm sorry, my babe. We'll do something later, right?
Right. You know, we often don't celebrate on the day, but at least we're usually together. Because usually by the end of, because, you know, I've been in adult retail, the end of night, Valentine's night, you know, rub my back. I just want to I want to lay down. I want to take my shoes off. I don't want to go out. I don't want to do anything. I want to just cuddle.
Like, even before I was in the industry, he worked for Fashion Nation. Remember, he was one of the store managers, and then he was at corporate way back in the day. And I was at Victoria's Secret. So it was like the store's torn up. I got to work late. I got to open early. So does he. It was like, we just never, even before kids, Valentine's Day, like we got married on the 4th of July. So that's when we kind of party. Like summer's our time.
Yes. Yes. You guys need to come to the lake and celebrate 4th of July at our lake. It's huge.
Don't tempt me. I have to bring the children then too.
We'll figure it out.
You'll love them though. They'll love you. They'll be like, oh my God, she's paying so much attention to me and she's cool purple hair. My daughter's already like, can I dye my hair? Like again, like I gave her freedom. We did like one little cool streak. But I'm like, girl, you're 10. Just be a kid. You don't need to like change your hair every 5 seconds. But that balance is tough. Anyway, okay. Okay. I love, again, where the show has gone. Okay, we'll get serious for a minute. I'll ask you one of the questions that I wrote down earlier.
Actually, if you ask me the first question,
okay. I wanted to ask you the last one. I'll do the first and then the last, right? Because we are here at Champs. So I'm going to do, right? At some point, you guys will see all these fun notes. And then, like, I have like a whole 18 episodes of notes like we didn't finish. I just like to be overly prepared and then see where it goes. Okay. I'm going to be serious now. I'm going to do my best. Baba Walters. Just kidding. Barbara Walters. All right. Miss Kathi, can you share some innovation or like some sales strategies that have been very successful for you in all of your adult retail experience, particularly in getting that customer engagement to boost the sales?
So, it is our story, and it is the home party. So we started with home parties, and then with home parties, people would call and say, hey, I ran out of Coochie shave cream. My silver bullet died.
I do love Coochie.
I shout out to Classic Brands because
Nicole, will you come on the show? I'll work on that. Oh my goodness. Love me some Classic Brands. Anyways, go on.
And so or just my silver bullet died, because back in the day we did not have rechargeable bullets. We had the ones on the cord that took the 2 AA batteries.
Right. And the wand was still, the magic wand was still plug-in, wasn't it? It wasn't on rechargeable yet.
Oh no, nothing was rechargeable 28 years ago.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think even the magic wand recharge is slightly new in the span of like, if you think about a lot of
Yeah.
these like, businesses are just turning, 30 to 50, and like really they've only been legal for that like amount of time, right?
Right.
It's not a lot on the span of business.
Oh, now we can talk about the legalities that have happened in Mississippi too. That'll be another conversation. But
Yeah, I need this like
so
monthly episode with the peppers.
James and I'll alternate.
I love it. All right, keep going.
So what had happened was, so people would call and say, hey, my silver bullet died. I ran out of coochie shave cream. I don't have time to do a party. Can I just come by and get some? Okay, sure. And so our enclosed garage, we had planned on using that for a miniature warehouse for the few good women that we wanted to be, our
Private parties, so
party people. And so we wanted to house enough inventory there so that we could restock their kits in between shows. So, but when people started calling, then it kind of became a store out of our house because they kept, they would want to come by. And then word got out and they just started showing up. And I remember one morning, it was a Saturday
not
morning.
Exactly like open store hours, everyone.
Right. So what had happened at 8:00 on a
Uh-oh. I'm hoping you're coming back, Kathi. Something happened at 8:00. Or everybody can hear it and I can't. Eek.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Are you back? Yeah,
I'm back.
Okay.
Are you back? Okay. So we had this sliding glass door that didn't lock. So we had this board at the base and there was about this much room. And so there was somebody trying to open that door.
Like clearly it's not opening. Oh, goodness.
I'm like, it's 8:00 on a Sunday morning. We're still in bed. Because I'd probably done a party that night before and got home at 1:00 in the morning. So I'm not a morning person. I'm a night owl, y'all. And so that led to us deciding that day that we were going to start working by appointments. And so I would do appointments by day and then parties by night. As it turned out, we needed to be working by appointments anyway because of our zoning in our area. So
there you go.
Blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
But as we have brought our business back to our house out of necessity and with $50,000 to $100,000 worth of merchandise, we went from, a 1,200 square foot space to 400 square feet. And yes, I have sex toys all throughout my house.
You did before the store moved there. Like, again, with everything you do, she had like a whole stocked out status of all of her side gigs in her garage. Like, she hustles is all I'm saying.
I mean, anyway. So what we learned in coming back is that the home parties is really what facilitated the store. And then the store also facilitated the home parties. So it was this combination. And so I think sometimes you have to have more to answer the question about your marketing strategies. I think sometimes you have to have more than one. And I think sometimes they need to collaborate with each other to make them work.
I think
that was a long answer.
No, but like that's actually really great considering like my brain has always been like KISS, right? Keep it simple, stupid. So I've been trying to like simplify everything, but I end up bucketing everything. And then I get kind of like stuck in like, well, that narrative doesn't make sense here and that doesn't make sense here. But like being able to blend it, right? Like making sure you can, I don't want to use the word pivot because it's been overused post pandemic, but making sure you can be like, what's the word? Like flexible.
I think, pivot still applies, even though we have over said like, that word. But it still applies. And I used to have a saying during COVID, is like, I've pivoted so much that I'm dizzy. If you think about what a pivot is.
Yeah. Well, and now all I think of is that scene in the Friends I don't know if people watch Friends. I do. I know people do watch Friends. I shouldn't say that. But where they're trying to move the couch because Ross doesn't want to pay for the delivery and they're stuck in the stairwell and he's all pivot. Yeah, that's all I can think of now.
I've not seen that one. So,
oh my goodness, I'll send it to you later. Okay.
Okay. But yeah, so that's been our marketing strategy for the most part, is that one part of the business helps to facilitate the other.
It's power of people, so to speak, right? Like everybody wants to give their customers what they want. And you've been able to do that, right? Like I know not every brand or every store can be that whatever niche, but it's great that you can.
And I think the other thing that kind of goes along with it, and I'll just kind of summarize it too, is like really, really good customer service. Do what you say. Be kind to your customers. Educate your customers. You know, all of those
don't
things.
Assume. That's like been my biggest one I have to go back to with people, or is like how many people on the sales floor did you not think were gonna like buy anything, and then you know it drop that American Express black on there, and you're like, holy moly. No idea, right? You can't assume.
And you educate your customers, be there for your customers. Customer service is everything. Think about, like, I like to go to a restaurant where it's my Cheers and everybody knows your name. And I like to go to a place where when I go in, they know what I want to drink. They know what I'm going to eat. They welcome me. They greet me. They,
right. Your husband's right. They keep coming back for the information. That is the pivotal difference between us and Amazon, online, anything. Like they're still working for us because they're creating that demand generation so that people will ask for some of these things when you come into the store. But the biggest difference and everything that we need to like make sure, the specialty of us is that we have the information. Let's give it to them. I love it.
And you know, there are some customers when we have the store. Yes. Are there customers that are there on their phone and they're you know, shopping online and using you? Yeah, there's a few. But you're good customers, if you've been there for them and you've been, you know, you've listened to them, you've befriended them even. Those are people who are not going to be there on their phone. And they're the ones that are going to drop several $100s in your store because they want to support you, because you gave to them and they want to give back with their dollars.
I love that. Yeah, no, and you're 100% correct. I know it's hard out there right now, but also I don't see, like, maybe they do get this because I don't see it, but like a lot of times, at least in my space, condoms are priced a lot higher in like CVS or drugstore convenience, right? Then they will be in your store. So I'm like, please go look it up on Amazon or whatever you got to do. But so I'm just saying, like in my sector, it's like, oh my God, you guys have a leg in the game, right? Especially considering, like, I don't know if you just pick Trojan. Everybody has like what the top 4 Trojan SKUs, like at least in big box. I'm like, by the way, they make 50 other things, so you can still use that Trojan name, but that's not in big box and like make some money on it. But I mean, so as I'm saying, it's a little bit different. I know it does happen with the Amazon shoppers, but I'm like, it's good for me. I'm like, you actually stand to have better pricing in your adult retail places.
Yeah. Totally.
Okay. So I'll do the last one because we are here in Vegas at Champs. Do the last question, and then you can shameless plug, and then you know we maybe have to wrap up because we got to work tomorrow. Yeah,
we do. We have a long day tomorrow.
We have a long 4 days.
So Dr. Pepper, get ready to type in the shameless plug stuff in our websites and everything.
I'm gonna let him send it. Okay,
I'll let him do shameless plug, and then you can ask me the final question.
All right, perfect. So as we prepare, for this Champs show here in Las Vegas, that's what we're doing here, other than like hanging out and having a good time. What are your expectations or excitements for the event? It's our first Champs show for both of us, right? So
yes.
What do you anticipate is going to be like impactful for your sales and marketing strategies?
So, you know, while I can't give away too much of my manufacturing stuff, because
that's fine.
Not my story to tell.
What do you think's going to work?
But so I'll say this, you know, it makes sense that our industries come back together. And I say back together because if you're my age, you remember back in the 80s, we used to call them head shops. That was what a smoke shop was back in the day.
I
We
still
called them
call
head
it
shops.
head shops. Is there a different? Is that like this counterculture word that I keep seeing now? That's the
I
word.
I don't the what I'm hearing is like vape shops
Okay.
and or smoke shops. But back in the 80s, maybe even 90s, it was called a head shop.
I was going to
And
say head shop was still with me. Like I'm not. I mean, I'm no spring chicken, but head shop was still a term in the elder millennial generation. So
I gotcha. And so, but back in the day, they used to have an adult section. There used to be not the whole store by any means, but they had their little sections. The same
or like
is true.
Blockbuster. Remember they had the like whoop 18 and older section people forget about.
Right, right.
I know I did just
So,
drop a Blockbuster reference.
and so the Reimagined Project, I love
I
it.
love it. I'm just leave it up while you're talking in case anyone needs to grab
Okay,
it.
perfect, perfect. And so, we have both kind of dabbled in each other's worlds. And if you think about it, the people that walk into an adult retail store versus a smoke shop, they have to be either over 18 or 21, depending on where you live. They are of like-minded, they're open-minded. They do things outside of the box a little bit.
Well, they're already
And
doing adult things there, right?
right, there's adult things in both places. And we don't have to worry about, your children seeing the stuff on the shelves because they're not welcome in our doors. And then the third thing is that sex and cannabis and kind of go together in terms that we both make you feel good. One helps you to relax, another helps to stimulate you. And I'm not going to say which one's which because it depends on you as to which is which.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, it's a
some
personal thing, but also like, yeah, let's go back to being like what mindful everybody, all the educators say is like being mindful about your pleasure experience.
right. So they definitely go hand in hand. So so I am hopeful to learn more about the smoke industry, and a little bit I don't know what to expect because it is my first show, and I've been to many adult shows, and they are a different group of people. They operate differently, like how they communicate with one another. A lot of them use WhatsApp. We use email, or we call each other. I mean,
Yeah,
so
no,
it
those
is.
are interesting, different sort of, yeah, that makes sense.
And then you also have cultural differences. So there's a lot of different differences. So I'm
Oh yeah, if
hopeful.
if I say like penis owner around here, people look at me like what? I was like, I just have to say men.
There's that. So, there's we are a different group of people, and so I'm hoping to learn things. I'm hoping to meet people, and just I'm excited, because it's going to be different. And also Snoop Dogg is going to be like catty cornered from me tomorrow,
I know.
probably.
Well, and then dude, I heard he's coming tomorrow, but then also I had no idea. My boss like did a headphone set for him later, and I was like calling his manager, and look, we could be meeting Snoop Dogg this week, is all I'm saying. Okay, sorry, the husband called. He was supposed to be my producer today, so let's give him some.
Hi, Ryan.
Hey, I will call you back. I'm on my stream, LOL, that I was hoping you were watching. It's
Hi,
an authentic.
Ryan. If you're watching,
Oh,
hi, Ryan.
Ryan, I will when we'll call him in a minute and do all the things. Okay, so shameless plug. We already posted the stuff, but if there is like any like a nugget of wisdom or just like a mantra to live by that you'd like to impart on us before we wrap it up here.
I would say that if you have an interest in doing home parties and you're serious about it, I mean, that's what we're looking for. If you're serious about doing home parties, contact.
Uh-oh. Welcome to the live show. These things happen. I have no idea if I'm on or if Kathy's still on, so this will be fun. We'll give her a minute, and then.
Yep, there we go. All right.
Oh, there you are. Okay,
Our
go
lovely
on.
Wi-Fi. All right. So if you're interested, if you are seriously interested about doing home parties, contact me or Dr. Pepper. I'm on Facebook. I'm in P3. James has sent links and stuff like that. So I mean, there's lots of different ways you can get in touch with us.
Or
I'm
if you
not
need
hard to
help,
find.
just ping me here on the Facebook Messenger, and I will get you in contact with Kathy and James.
Yeah, I'm not hard to find. So we'd love to talk to you if that's something that interests you. And you know, I'd like to lead getting the charge to getting home parties back in this
You heard it
industry.
here first. This could be like the podcast that all of a sudden, like Kathy, just like she's gonna be like a bajillionaire and super famous in the next 10 years, but bringing home parties back, and I'll be like, you heard it here first. Who wants to get in?
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. Okay. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, James, in the audience. That's a wrap. Ha ha. Puns, because I sell condoms. I think I'm funny. Thanks for tuning in and sharing your time with us. I appreciate it. I hope you found something enlightening, that there's just like, what do we call it? That little nugget, something that inspires you that you can take with you on your journey. If you like, remember, this is a random show where I speak into the ether, and I want to bring you my friends and my resources and my tips, but I want it to be useful for you guys, the audience. So don't hesitate to reach out, either here on the socials. My email is tori@paradisemarketing.com. I think I have a banner. I'll put that up here real quick, like a grown-up. You know, again, if there's topics you guys are more interested in, guests you want me to interview, or you want to be on yourself, like, give me a holler. This show is for everybody here, and I want it to be useful. So,
And Tori makes this so easy, y'all.
I send some notes, and then we maybe use 2 or 3 of the questions. So we're uber prepared because I have the anxieties. Don't worry. So join us next time. We'll have some more insights and some stories, and of course, you know, maybe a little nugget of wisdom to carry through. Until then, like, keep exploring, stay curious. That's my new thing, and I'll see you next Tuesday.